Dion, we got some draft rumors surfacing the day before the draft, this time surrounding the Celtics. This is a report from Steve Bulpett at Steve B. Hoops. He says, per sources, Celtics trying to move into the lottery. Illinois guard Kasparas Jakucionis said to be a target. Obviously, this is coming on the heels of them trading Drew Holiday. They just traded Porzingis as well. Clearly making some moves in Boston. What do you make of Kasparas being a target for the Celtics?
Um, I think the Celtics moving into the lotto, swinging for the fences makes sense. Because you're clearly going, you cut a lot of salary already. Um, I don't believe Derek White and Jaylen Brown are off the table from what Shams has said. I do believe the price tag on both is hefty, like hefty, 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 hefty. But I mean, we just saw Desmond Bain go for 4 or 5 first rounders, and granted, all of those first rounders are trash. I hate when we just say the quantity of it, like the quality of it is the best one you got was like 16.
Mhm.
Um, but I think I think the price tags on them are hefty. I don't know how the Celtics get into the lotto without one of them. That or the top 10 is that's the rumor where Kasparas is going top 10.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know how they get into the top 10 without one of them. But maybe they have something up their sleeve. But I do think if they're able to get into the top 10, you keep Derek White, you keep Jaylen Brown. Obviously, you're returning Tatum. The rumors are he might be able to play next year. Eh, I would have to disagree based upon the way the Celtics are moving at the moment. But like you're going to get Tatum back at some point, and I think adding somebody young to take pressure off of Tatum when he returns is going to extend his career. If Tatum comes back and has to be Tatum from day one, that injury is really, really hard to return from. But if Tatum can come back and he has Jaylen Brown, he has Derek White, and now he has this young star point guard that's able to also take pressure off of him and he can just ease his way into it. I think that extends his career a lot. So I love the idea. I don't know how they do it. I don't know. Was there anything to the rumor? Like, was there any substance to
In a word, no.
it? Yeah, I mean, I also
I don't
listen. I
think
would
so.
like.
I don't think our guy Steve hashed out the different trade scenarios. He did say Drew Holiday is pissed he's going to Portland. That was a direct quote, pissed, the P word. Holiday but yeah, I can't find anything that's saying that he will for sure like any potential trade ideas with that. I'm with you. I struggle to see like what pieces they could trade to get into the lottery unless they include one of Jaylen Brown or Derek White. I kind of think like in my a lot of these rumors get started. It's tough for me to think they're going to completely blow it up. Right? Am I crazy for that? Like I know Brown is on a huge contract and he has his flaws. Still was a Finals MVP. Granted, his stats kind of pale in comparison to some other Finals MVP. But I just don't know if they completely let this go up in flames, you know?
So okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. When is? Oh, so Derek White still has 3 years on his deal? Yeah, I don't see them moving Derek White. I thought Derek White only had a year or two on it, and then he would have to be extended. I could see them moving JP though. I honestly think like when you look at Jaylen Brown and you look at his contract, you kind of look. I mean, quite frankly, like uh, I don't want to say some of the production because he's phenomenal, but like there's no left hand. But at the same time, JB is a free agent 29, 2030. We're heading into the 25, 26 season, so there's 4 years left on his deal. 2 of those years he's making 60 M's. I I don't think Tatum plays next year, which is that makes that season a wash. I don't think you're going to get a version of Tatum good enough to win a championship his first year back coming off an Achilles. So
Hmm.
I think if you're Boston, you're viewing it like we have 2 years that are a wash, and then that third year, let's turn up, let's go get another one. I think JB might be a casualty of that.
So
To the
so
point.
let's workshop a trade here because I think trading Jalen Brown for a chance to select Casparis like in a vacuum is insane. You got to get something else back. If we okay, so like let's look at some of these teams. The Raptors have the ninth pick. The Rockets have the 10th. Do they go back to the Blazers? Well, the Blazers have the 11th pick. The Bulls have the 12th. Hawks at 13. What's a theoretical trade here that the Celtics could even pull off to get into the late lottery where they could take Kasparas?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like without JB or White, like what are they moving? And maybe I don't know when this rumor came out. Like, did this rumor come out before the Drew and Porzingis trades?
This rumor came out earlier today.
But like, when was earlier today? You're on your Mo Diabate, like best defense in a while.
Uh, 7 p.m., 6:59 to be
Okay,
exact.
so after the Porzingis trade, um, okay, that's interesting. I really don't know how they get there into the top 10. I do know this. I do know this, and this is widespread. Um, like teams are trying to get out of this top 10. That there is like this is an extremely top heavy draft. I've been saying it for a while, but like I think the NBA teams are also like now acknowledging it, where it's like if we're not getting Dylan or Coop, we're really taking some shots in the dark here. Like VJ Edgecombe's going to go three. Ace Bailey might not want to play for any team in the NBA. Like I'm not sure he knows there's only 30 teams. He's pretty much cut himself out of 28. Trey Johnson's working his way up draft boards. Jeremiah Fears is, I think, I want to say at the moment, betting odds have him to go fifth, which is a pretty
Wow.
high jump. And I think the reason it's like that is because it's like if you don't know, Jeremiah, Trey, VJ, they have incredibly high upside. Colin Knippel is supposed to go fourth at the moment to the Hornets. I don't think teams know what to do in the top 10 anymore, and maybe Boston can cash in on that.
This video is brought to you by NBA 2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. They're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh,
Ooh,
okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New
New
York.
York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado is.
It's in Colorado. There's a state of
Is that
Colorado.
this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video.
Yeah, that's a good point. I will say I love the thought of Kasparis getting into a really good organization like that with a coaching staff that's proven at development. I think we were the two highest on Kasparis with like our initial big boards. I have reworked my big board, Dion. I'm going to probably tweet it out on draft day. I moved Kasparis all the way up to number 6. I'm irrationally high on Yakushonis.
Who are the other five?
All right, let me pull it up.
I just want to let the listeners know while he pulls this up, the guy that just said he has Kasparas Jakucionis not going to get enough credit for me pronouncing that last name correct, but that's okay. At 6, also referred to me the other day as the Darren Sproles to his LaDainian Tomlinson.
You're supposed to save that reveal for when we're doing draft content tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll probably bring it up once or twice.
Which I which I did say people love Darren Sproles. He's just not LT. Of
Yeah,
course, I'm gonna make myself the star. I'm sorry, Dion, but you're still a star to me.
nope.
But my so the last update, I actually probably need to tweak this again because I have Ace Bailey fifth. I still think Ace Bailey might be the fifth best player in this draft, though. It's
Oh,
just
I mean,
like
yeah.
it's just all the extracurriculars right now of the workouts is kind of scary. But I had Flag one, Harper second, Johnson third, Edgecombe fourth, Bailey fifth, Casper is sixth, Fear seventh, Knipple eighth, Derek Queen ninth, Yegor Dimon 10. You want me to keep going? Common Malawach 11,
No, I just wanted to know the five above him. So you have Coop, Dylan, who's
Trey, Trey Johnson,
4?
VJ.
Oh, VJ above Ace? And I don't like Ace. What has VJ done to be above Ace, though?
Yeah, With VJ, it's more so like the defensive tools that I think should translate, plus like the athleticism, and he at least shot it decently. Ace is pretty much banking that he is who he was in high school before Peichel like put him in this terrible system, and they were just awful and stinky, and it made people forget like how coveted of a recruit Ace Bailey was. But Yakashonis to me, to I don't know, kind of focus back on the task at hand. The more I like researched him, the more I realize he checks every benchmark you want of an elite international prospect to hit. Like he was averaging 19, 6, and 5 for Barcelona's second team, which I get it was their second team, not their A team, but still, I think that's really hard to do as an 18-year-old to be that dominant in the second division in the Liga ACB. And he was so good before he had the forearm injury this year that I'm just kind of banking on him getting back to that form. And I think if Boston does move up to take him, theoretically, like without Tatum and they're not really playing for anything, I get that Simons is there now, but you would think he'd be able to get minutes pretty early. Maybe that is a little crowded though with Derek White, Anthony Simons, and Peyton Pritchard there.
So apparently, so I'm reading an article on it. By the way, I do think he'd play a lot early on. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like distract from what you said.
No, you're
think
good.
I think you're looking at you play him, White, Brown together. I don't think Simons is on the team. Simons has to be involved in the trade.
Hmm.
And I don't think Simons has a ton of value, by the way, either. So that's my issue with the whole notion that they're going to be able to make this trade happen. Because Simons has no value. That's why he got traded for Drew. If we're being honest, Simons has no value. But I think Simons 28, 32, and maybe a boatload of picks also gets you in there. Or do you trade Pritchard to get into the top 14?
Pritchard to me is like his contract is too cheap and he's a legit six man of the year caliber player. Like that's where I don't think they would give him up just because he has such a team friendly deal.
I think, yeah, I agree. I love that swing for the fence, though.
Yeah, okay, okay.
I
You're
think
kind of selling me on
you
it.
swing on like the backup point guard who like
Mhm.
is sick. In the finals, we're just gonna play our starters 40 minutes, and then you shoot like a weird half quarter at the end of every quarter that goes in. So like I think you swing for the fences on the backup point guard for a potential star, and
Mhm.
that's kind of where you're at, right? Because you don't know what Tatum's gonna be like when he comes back. You don't know when Tatum's gonna come back, and realistically, like all these guys are on great contracts, but Peyton Pritchard's on a 4-year, $30 million deal that, by the way, has 3 years left on it. We just talked about how 2 of those years are probably a wash.
Mhm.
So by the time you're ramping up to go again, you're either with Pritchard on an expiring or you just locked him into a crazy big deal. I kind of love that. You do Pritchard, you do a bunch of picks, you get into that top 14, and you just traded your backup point guard for Kasparas. That's
Ah,
not bad.
okay, you might have just sold me on that, Dion, when you look at the deal and like what their window is right now and how the Tatum injury shifted that. Look, it'll be interesting. Hopefully, there's no shortage of drama on draft night. If you haven't heard, we're gonna be there all night covering it for you. So this is just a little appetizer for that between Sproles and LT on the draft coverage. So